Hi friends, welcome to episode number 2 of Procurement and Sourcing series. In this particular episode, we will be explaining about procurement category hierarchy and procurement catalogs in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation. With no further delay, let's quickly jump into this particular episode.
So let's start off our today's discussion regarding the procurement category hierarchy and also the procurement catalogs. So in the previous episode number 1, we already gone through the high level definition of procurement and sourcing module, what it is all about, and what are the business process areas we are going to cover. And talking about especially source to pay process, managing the catalogs is very important because you need to configure your procurement category hierarchy, and at the same time, using the category hierarchy, you need to configure your procurement catalog. So that's where your master data management comes into picture. In this episode, we are not going to discuss about how to create a product and release it across the various legal entities, what are all the product attributes, how to configure various dimensions like storage, tracking. We are not going to discuss any of those. We come with the presumption that if the item is already created, in this episode, we will quickly see how to create a procurement category hierarchy and configure a procurement catalog using the same. So starting off with the definition, fundamental definition for procurement category hierarchy. The procurement category hierarchy basically helps you to classify the items. These can be used for your reporting because throughout the procurement sourcing module, this category hierarchy can be used in multiple reporting stages and for your data analysis. And basically, if you see this is basically the demo data which is available in USM of legal entity. So I have just taken a screenshot of it. So you can see the logical grouping of the categories with the what were the items which you want to be part of those categories, which are logically grouped under the respective nodes. You have a grandparent node, parent node, and a child node, and based on which the users will be able to order appropriate items whenever they get into any purchase requisition or purchase orders. So that's what I have also written was strategically manage the categories, products, and vendors. You can also configure the vendors for specific categories so that those specific approved or authorized vendors can be used whenever you request for those category specific materials. And third most important point is one procurement category hierarchy is defined for a whole organization and this is not legal entity specific, which means once you configure the procurement category hierarchy, it is not legal entity specific and it is a global master where it can be used as a common central location to configure all your product related informations can be grouped together, which can be used to order the materials which you want. So configuring the procurement category hierarchy it primarily helps you in reporting and analysis, acts as a central location for all your product related information. And number three, this is defined at the whole organization level and not legal entity specific level. So which is very important for you to understand. And in this episode, we are going to quickly see on how to create category hierarchy. You can create multiple category hierarchies and assign the category hierarchy which is created to a procurement category hierarchy. So as we saw in the previous slide, there can be only one procurement category hierarchy at any point in time. And once the procurement category hierarchy is created, then how do we add the products into the procurement category hierarchy? So that's what we are going to see in this particular demo. So let's quickly jump into the D365 screen. So first of all, in order to create a category hierarchy, which is being the first step, you need to navigate to product information management. Under category attributes, you have category hierarchies. So by default, we are in the USM of legal entity where there are demo data which is available, and you can already see a procurement office supplies is the category hierarchy which is defined for a procurement category hierarchy. So it is already defined in the system. But let's anyway create a new category hierarchy. Let me click on new, then give it as test category. Um, then it may refers to D365 talks test category. You can give any description whatever you want just for your convenience, then click on create at the bottom, and then this will create a new category hierarchy for you in the system. All you have to do is first to start off by clicking on new category node. So by this way you will be able to create, by using new category node and delete category node, you will be able to create the parent child relationship among the nodes based on the active node which you have selected. Let's say this is the active node right now. Let me name this as maybe as computers procurement. So this is the category hierarchy parent grandparent node, I would say. So in this, I just want to add a parent node. It can be anything like brand. And once again, if I want to add a node within computers, then I have to make sure that the computers is the active node. So I just selected now computer is the active node right now. Let me click on new category now. So new category node is added within computers right now. So let me add as storage. Let me add one more node. So I'll once again select on the top, click on new category, and let me add it as accessories. Okay, so these are the three parent nodes which I have created. Let's say if I want to add nodes within brand, then I have to make sure that the brand is the active node. Now let me click on new category node. So now you can see the node is new category node is assigned, is created within the brand. So now let me add any brand, like maybe of course starting off with Microsoft Surface. Then let me add one more brand. So I'm just clicking on brand, that becomes active node. Let me add Dell, save. Then maybe in the storage, I will add one more, two subcategories like 128 GB. Uh, Save it. Let me add one more category. So we are basically logically grouping this. That's what I just want to show it to you. Logically grouping of the items so that it is easy for any user to add it to your purchase requisitions and order the respective items. So this is primarily need to be done by the procurement managers or your master data management team, who need to sit together. A lot of collaboration is required in order to add the items. So add define the categories, and you can also add the items like so let's say we are in the accessories. I just don't want to create a further category within accessories. Let me simply add the items. You can also add it over here by clicking on add, and you will have a separate window which opens up. Here you can multi-select the items. For example, I know because I already saw the demo data, so the item which starts with C, these are some of the accessory items which are available in our release products. So I just want to add, click this right arrow so that it gets added to your selected session. If you want to remove any of this, just select the appropriate items and then click on this arrow to take this to your left pane, so that those are not included. So once all these are selected, then all you have to do is just simply click on OK at the bottom. So all the four items will be added to that particular node, the particular category accessories. So similarly, if I take the storage as 128, so if you want to add a specific item, so let's look into the other way around. Let's say if I want to add the item not from the category hierarchy, but if I want to add it from the release products, just go to release products. um, so here, let's say this is the item which I want to add, then select the appropriate item, and on the top you have the product category under setup section. So select the product category. So it is already assigned to the category hierarchy called speakers, but you can assign the items to the multiple category hierarchy. So let me assign it to the category hierarchy, test category hierarchy, and then I just want to assign it to the section not in brand, but I want to be part of this 128 GB storage category. Then let me click on OK. So now this item is also part of the test category. Let me save that. This is also the other way of adding the item, but I know each and every item we cannot go and add it. It's time consuming, but it's always better to go to your product information, category hierarchies, and select the test category hierarchy which we created. And now if I see under storage 128, the item is obviously added because we added this in the release product. But of course, the best method is to use the add option in the category hierarchy itself. So that's how you create a category hierarchy. Make sure that by default it is always activated. If you want to inactivate any specific category or subcategory, make sure that you inactivate it, and at any point in time you can come back and activate the category node, so that those are not available in your procurement catalog creation. So let me go back. So first step is we created a category hierarchy. Second step, what we have to do was we need to assign this category hierarchy to a role. The category hierarchy role, like I said during the presentation, if you see, one procurement category hierarchy is defined for a whole organization and not legal entity specific. So what we mean is, So in this case, if you see, if I try to create a new category hierarchy, and if I try to assign a procurement category hierarchy type, so we can have multiple category hierarchies in the system, but for procurement category hierarchy, at any point in time, there can be only one category hierarchy. So already a category hierarchy of type procurement office supplies is linked using the demo data. Now, if I try to assign our test speakers, then system will not allow us. If I click on save, system will say a different hierarchy for this role already exists. So which means we can have only one procurement category hierarchy of the type. So let me delete this. So this is also what I need to do. First, I need to delete this category hierarchy. But before deleting it, let me also show you. If I go to procurement and sourcing module, then procurement categories, then you can see the procurement category right now is the procurement office supplies. And you can see this is the demo data from which the system has picked it. But right now what we are going to do is we are going to change this. How we are going to do is by changing the role association. So first let us delete the procurement category hierarchy. So I have just deleted the procurement category hierarchy. Let me click on new. Now from the drop down, let me select the procurement category hierarchy. Now system will allow us to select the test category because there are no other category hierarchy which is linked to procurement category hierarchy. So let me select test category hierarchy, save it. So now it allows us to save. Now if we go back to the procurement categories under procurement done sourcing, if I go to procurement categories, now you can see whatever the category which we newly created just now, that has been mapped, that has become the default procurement category in Dynamics 365 F&O. And now you can see all the configurations what we did. But basically the procurement managers can come up with their own procurement categories based on their organizational specific requirements. So here they can add the products, they can also add the vendors. These vendors which are added can be used as approved vendors or recommended vendors based on the configurations in the purchasing policy. So you can play around with this, but we are not going to discuss in detail about this because the whole idea is to understand the procurement category hierarchy and procurement catalog. But we will also see how to configure this when we discuss in detail about purchasing policy, maybe in episode number 4 or 5. So what are the products which we have added? Under 128 we have added this item. Let's say if we feel that we want to come up with an authorized vendor for this, should be they should buy this material from only from Acme Office Supplies, or maybe some LTL vendor. I'm not sure who the vendor is, but let's say the always we should go ahead with these two vendors, then select the appropriate vendors, click on the right arrow. This is similar to the one which we saw how we added products, then you hit the OK button. So these two vendors are now added. The vendor status can be approved or preferred. So you can configure in the purchasing policy whether you want to use the approved vendor or the preferred vendor whenever a purchase requisition is raised for the product Surface Pro 128 GB. So this is how you need to configure so that the users who are actually raising the requesters or the purchase requisition preparer will have the appropriate items only available in the procurement category, whatever the procurement catalog which they select. So now the thing is, well, we have created the procurement category. We have first started off with creating the category hierarchy, assigned a role association for the category hierarchy, and then now the category hierarchy is available in as a procurement category hierarchy in our system. I hope I'm not confusing you. I will also try to summarize in a quicker way at last. So let's go back to our presentation. So that's what the whole idea is. The procurement category hierarchy, first of all, we need to create a hierarchy, and then we need to assign it to a procurement category hierarchy. You can also assign it to a retail category hierarchy or sales category hierarchy, but in this video we assigned it to a procurement category hierarchy. And also we saw two ways of adding the products: one within the procurement category hierarchy by clicking on add products, two by going into the release product section where you can also add the products to the specific category hierarchies. Of course the later is little difficult to handle, but you can always add the items within the procurement category hierarchy. But idea is you need to understand before getting into procurement catalog why we actually created procurement category hierarchy. So first of all, we need to understand about procurement catalog in this case. Procurement catalogs is another important concept in Dynamics 365 F&O. Procurement catalog defines the items and services that company employees can order for internal use. It can be for your office supplies or for the materials which are required for your HO. So whatever the whatever the materials you want, and you want to define multiple catalogs based on employee or organizational specific requirements, so that they have the access to only those materials which they are allowed to order. That's the whole idea of configuring procurement catalogs. After catalogs are set up, company employees can create purchase requisitions to order from them based on the rules defined in the purchasing policy. So we are not discussing about the purchasing policy right over here, but we can configure the rules based on which the users will have access to specific products, but not all the products which are available in a specific legal entity, but to a specific certain set of products which they will be allowed to order from the procurement catalog. So an organization can have multiple procurement catalogs. The catalog is based on the procurement category hierarchy. The categories in the hierarchy become the nodes in the catalog, which is the most important. That's the reason we configured the procurement category hierarchy just before coming into procurement catalog, because procurement category hierarchy, whatever the categories which we defined, the brand, storage, or accessories, those become the nodes in your procurement catalog. So which is very very important for us to note of it. So let me go to the next slide. So when we create any procurement catalog, these are the three important aspects which we need to keep in mind. One is configure your procurement category hierarchy before you create the catalog. That's what we discussed right now. Always make sure that your procurement category hierarchy is defined, because those categories will be used as nodes in your procurement catalog. And determine which products you want your employees to be able to order. So imagine you need to define the procurement category hierarchy first, then you decide on what are all the products which are available in your organization which should be allowed to order when any employee or requester comes to the purchase requisition page. They cannot order any item, right? So you need to define the what are the list of products which the employee should be allowed to order, so that you can show or hide those products in the catalog, which is the core idea of using procurement catalog in D365. And determine how many procurement catalogs you require. So for example, you may require 10 different catalogs, or maybe maybe two catalogs is enough for you. You need to identify how many catalogs is actually required, and you need to define the rule, catalog policy rule, in purchasing policy. And we are not going to define the rule, but we will try to define the procurement catalog in the system using the procurement category hierarchy which we defined just before. So let's quickly jump into the system. So this is the procurement category hierarchy, text category hierarchy, which we defined in the system. So here the nodes what we have becomes the what are the categories which we have in the procurement category will become the nodes in procurement catalog. So for the procurement catalog, all you have to do is navigate to procurement and sourcing module, then click on catalogs, and you have procurement catalogs. So now in the procurement catalogs, let's say you want to create a new procurement catalog, and already we have a catalog in the system which is basically fetching the data from the demo, which was the previous category office supplies which were available. So let me create a new procurement catalog. Let's say IT procurement, and then click on OK. So now what it does is basically fetches all the categories which we created in the procurement category hierarchy and populates it over here. So here, but we will not be able to add or delete any products. So if you can see here, there is no option to add the vendors, modify it, delete it. You will not be able to make any changes in the procurement catalog. Those changes has to be done only in the procurement category hierarchy. But in the procurement catalog, we define which are all the items which should be visible, which should be shown to the users for ordering the materials. Let's say, for example, if I get into accessories, we have already added four product numbers in the accessories section. Let's say if I don't want the users to view the or keyboard and mouse, then I can add this. So once if it is hidden, the display is no, so user will not be able to view the keyboard and mouse whenever they raise purchase requisitions. And also make sure that the default update type is static, or it can be dynamic. If it is static, every time when the changes are made, you need to activate and publish the catalogs, so that the live data of your procurement catalog is available whenever the users go for the purchase requisitions. or if it is dynamic, then whenever the changes are made in your catalogs is automatically updated, and when the users are trying to raise their purchase requisitions. But of course you need to make sure that you publish your catalog always. If the catalog is not published, then you will not be able to get the latest updates in the system whenever purchase requisitions are raised. So let's say this is hidden. Also, you can also hide a category. The category navigation, you can hide all the products or show all the products. It is purely depends on what is. If it is hidden, then you will be, the show option will be enabled, or if all the products are shown, that's the reason only hide all products is enabled. So let's say if I get into brand, or let me get into storage. If I go to category navigation and let me click on hide all products, so those all the products within storage will be hidden, and that's the reason you can see there is a negative sign over here, which means which is hidden, and the positive sign indicates the products will be shown in your procurement catalog. And once again, if I go to category navigation, now you can see the show all products is enabled because the products within the category storage are disabled or hidden. So now if I click on show all products, then once again you can see it comes with a positive sign, which means all the items within that particular category are shown. So that's how it gives us a visible representation of whether the category is hidden or not hidden in the procurement catalogs. So here you can hide at the product level, here you can hide or show at the category level, and then all you have to do is you need to activate the catalog and then make sure that you have to publish it. So category catalog IT procurement has been activated successfully, and also you need to make sure that you publish the catalog. If you do not publish your catalog, once again I'm repeating it, then it will not be available in the purchase requisition for you to select the appropriate items. So let me go back. So let me kind of refresh what we discussed right now. So procurement, first all you have to do is create a category hierarchy, which is very important. You can create multiple category hierarchies, and then after creating the category hierarchies, you need to assign it to your role. The category hierarchy created can be for procurement, for retail, or sales. In this episode, we discussed about the procurement category hierarchy. So we assigned a role called procurement category hierarchy. Once we assigned the procurement category hierarchy in the role association, then we navigated to procurement and sourcing module, where we kind of identify the same procurement category hierarchy, which gives us the logical grouping of the items available in the system. So here you can logically group the items in the respective categories, and we saw two ways of adding the items. One, either by adding the items in using the add option over here. Another option is in the release products, where also you can go and add any item to the category hierarchy. And once the category hierarchy, procurement category hierarchy is defined, then in the procurement catalogs you will have the same categories converted into notes in the catalog. We have multiple notes here: brand, storage, or accessories, which will be used by the users to order or request the items whenever they want. So this is how the procurement category hierarchy works. So I hope now the concept of procurement category hierarchy and the procurement catalog and the difference between the two is clear. So in the next episode, probably we will start off with how to create a purchase requisition, which is very important. We will try to understand about creating a purchase requisition, how the based on the requester needs, how a preparer can order on behalf of some other person. We will also see that how to consolidate the purchase requisitions and negotiate for better volume discounts with the vendors. So it's going to be a detailed episode. So we will get to into the various aspects of purchase requisition in episode number 3.
Thanks for watching this video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel D365 Talks to get notified whenever I post videos related to Dynamics 365 F&O. And I will soon catch you up in episode number 3 related to purchase requisitions. Until then, Sriram Sivashankaran signing off.